Hi guys, so we're starting with the Degrassi characters and what my opinion is of them. The way that I decided to do this was split it up season by season, because if I were to do all the seasons at once, that would be crazy. This way we can also kind of talk about everyone's character development. Then again, just remember, these are my opinions. That's why it's called My Opinion On. But we're starting with Degrassi The Next Generation again, like we did last time. So, the characters we have are Jimmy Brooks, Terry McGregor, Ashley Kerwin, Spinner, Paige, Sean Cameron, Toby, Manny, JT, Liberty, Emma, Mr. Simpson, Mr. Radich, Spike, Hazel, Tracker, Sean's brother, Mr. Armstrong, Miss Kwan, and little Angela. The only reason why I won't be talking about the older cast of Degrassi High and Degrassi Junior High is because we'll talk about their characters when we get to those videos, because that's when they're like really prominent. But when Craig comes in, we'll be talking about Joey, and as Mr. Simpson starts dating Spike, we'll talk about him more. But I will go down this list and I will tell you, first I'm going to tell you my opinions of the characters in this season specifically, and then I have some notes over here that I'm just going to talk about after. So how we're going to do this is, we already talked about the episodes and how they solved it. For this series, I'm just going to talk about my opinion of the characters and any other notes I have on them. And then we'll talk about the relationships in a whole other video. I just watched my first video to get a rerun on how all the characters are. And I'll be watching my videos to do that, so I don't have to watch the seasons all over again. But I will say that I did do relationships at the end of the first Degrassi video, and I realized that was a mess when I did it, so I stopped doing that, and I thought, let me just do whole different videos for relationships. But we're going to do the characters today, so let's jump into it before any longer. So Jimmy Brooks. Jimmy Brooks in the first season, I like his character. I do like how they have an athletic character that is really into a certain sport and really wants to do well and progress in that sport. And I do like how they didn't do that tired old jock gimmick of a stupid person, because Jimmy is actually very intelligent and he's actually very smart. Terry McGregor. I love Terry to pieces. I think she's such a good friend to everybody. And I honestly, like, she's just the sweetest thing. And if she needs to be blunt with her friends, she will be blunt with them, but to help them. So she's not blunt in a mean way, because she's not brutally honest. She's honest. So, Ashley Kerwin. I do not like Ashley in the first season. She's a bit of a bitch, actually. She is very rude and quick with everybody, even her boyfriend, Jimmy. She's just kind of rude to everybody, and there's no reason to be rude. Spinner. Spinner, I think, is good in the first season. He didn't really do much of anything bad. I mean, we all know the Ritalin was a bad idea. But I think Spinner was actually a good person. I think he was just trying to figure out who he was. And he was sweet to Terry even after she embarrassed herself. And I just think he was a really good person, season 1. Paige. Paige is the queen bee. She was a bitch in the first season. Like, she was so mean. She was always looking down on people. She tried to take Spinner from Terry when Terry didn't even have Spinner. And it just, I do not like Paige in the first season. Sean Cameron. I do like Sean, and I think Emma helped bring Sean out of his shell a little bit. I do like Emma and Sean. Sean, I know he has his walls up and everything to protect himself. There was just always like a a part of Sean that I didn't vibe with, but when he started hanging out with Emma and becoming friends with Emma and all of them, I feel like we got to see more of his personality, and he turned out to be a really good person. Toby. I did like Toby in the first 2 episodes when he first showed up, and I still liked Toby going through the first season. I feel like he only knew JT and then he became friends with Manny and Emma, but you know, I feel like Toby just always hung around with JT, which wasn't bad, but I feel like we didn't get to learn much about Toby in the first season because I feel like he was overshadowed by JT. Manny. Manny in the first season is a really good friend and a really good listener, and she's really good. She's not interested in boys that much yet. She's not doing anything. She just wanted to be a part of the Spirit Squad because she wanted to be, not for any popular reason or anything. So I feel like Manny was really, really good in the first season. Really good person. JT. JT's hilarious, of course, and that never leaves, but I feel like he's a good friend to Toby. He's trying to help Toby get with Emma, and he's trying to help his friend get around Degrassi, which I think is a really good friend to have. Liberty. Liberty in season 1 is not necessarily my favorite. She's very stuck up. I mean, that's just the way that she is. She wants to be perfect, and she wants everything to be perfect, and she's the smartest kid in school. But one thing she doesn't realize is having a learning disorder doesn't make you stupid. It just means you need to spend more time on work and, you know, tutoring and things like that. So I think that Liberty just needs to, in the words of everyone, take a chill pill in season 1. I have a friend who was like Liberty, but she didn't have a learning disorder, but she was very, very smart, and she had a speech impediment. So, you know. Emma. Emma, we'll talk a little bit about notes I have on the side later, but Emma is a little strict, and she's not the best person in season 1, and she doesn't really get much better. But, you know, we'll talk about the note I have on the side about Emma. She's not my favorite from season 1. Mr. Simpson. I love Mr. Simpson so much. He's so cool. Like, he likes to talk to his students and try to help them out any way he can. And I really feel like he's a good teacher. I do kind of think he's kind of doing Miss Ovey's job for her sometimes, but I still like him. Mr. Radich. I liked Mr. Radich in Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. Of course, we'll talk about that when we get there. I don't really like him in The Next Generation. I feel like he's kind of unfeeling and kind of just angry all the time. Spike. Spike is an amazing mom to Emma. She is like, you can go and talk to her about anything. She's so supportive, and amazing mother right there. Hazel. I do like Hazel. She doesn't really have much of a personality in season 1, so I can't really speak much on Hazel, but we'll speak on Hazel definitely later when she has more of a part, because I love Hazel. Tracker, Sean's brother. Obviously, we only see him like once when he's dropping off his brother, but I don't like him. Oh, well, we see him again when he's criticizing Emma's paper, but I don't like him. No. Mr. Armstrong. I feel like Mr. Armstrong is really like one of the best teachers at Degrassi. Not gonna lie. Miss Kwan. I don't know what that sound was. Miss Kwan, I also feel like is one of the best teachers at Degrassi. And little Angela, so cute. We'll talk about Angela when she becomes Tori, but we'll also talk about Angela before when she gets older. So Manny, JT, and Toby are good friends to help Emma. Obviously, it shows their friendship. It shows how much they care about Emma and how much they want to keep her safe. Ashley is a little rude to everyone. Like I said, Ashley is a bit of a piece of work, being rude to everyone. Spinner's still super sweet to Terry, and I think that's really good because, you know, there's no reason for anybody to be mean to Terry. She made a mistake and she had to live with it. Terry is a good friend to everyone. I do feel like I said, she definitely helps people and is definitely blunt when she has to be. Jimmy is a good boyfriend to Ashley. I know it's kind of like one of those little baby relationships that you have in high school when you're like freshman or in middle school, but like, yeah, he was still really good, a good listener and tried to help her. And he was willing to talk about sex, which is important. Sean acts all tough to protect himself. Of course, like I said, he acts all tough, but he has a little soft spot for Emma, which then he starts to open up and show himself. Liberty wanted to do video announcements, but should have just had Ashley give her credit word of mouth. Liberty wasn't ready to do the video announcements, but she wanted credit, so she should have talked to Ashley about maybe giving her a little bit more credit in the things that she found for Ashley to say. Emma handled the period like a boss because she literally just basically told all the boys in the class, oh, I just got my period for the first time. I wish I could have done that. I would have been literally laughed out of my high school or middle school for doing that. Also, I don't blame Emma's views fully on her. She was around Liz and Caitlin growing up, and I know Caitlin was the environmental views, and that's not really one, but Liz was the other views, so I feel like maybe she picked up a little bit of Liz and Caitlin, and Paige is a bitch. We talked about that. Mr. Armstrong helps Liberty with her learning disorder, which is why I think Mr. Armstrong is one of the best teachers. He was willing to help Liberty through her learning disorder and not just let her, suffer in silence, essentially. Sean only has a soft spot for Emma, which I think is super sweet because he really likes her. Manny stands up for Hazel getting in trouble. And I think it's really good that Manny decided to be it wasn't just Hazel doing it right, and stood up for her, and I think that was really good showing of Manny's character. And Paige only cares about herself. Obviously, like I said, she's a bitch. She only cares about herself. She doesn't matter who has to take the fall as long as she doesn't get in trouble. Also, when Ashley insults Paige, why is Paige so insulted? The insults are no big deal. Saying she was a hag in her looks and her personality, I don't think that's such a big deal, but obviously Paige was really offended. I don't know why, but who knows. Anyway, so let me know if you guys agree. Let me know your guys' opinions down there. Please be nice to everyone in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.